Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly, and I've got a good one for you today. I am back in California, and I wanted to go down to the water right away. So I'm going to take a look at the water, but there's a lot to cover today. And before I do, please take a second and please hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel. Also, please remember the November 12th party to celebrate 250,000 subscribers. This is going to be one of your last chances to sign up for that. Use the link below. Even if you cannot attend the party live, we're going to have a drawing and pick the people to attend the party. You're still going to be put into the raffle. Our brilliant sponsors are giving us prizes to support the event, and we will ship them around the globe, guys. So go to dansilver.com, sign up today, dansilver.com, and you're going to meet so many great people, but I am thrilled at everybody that's coming, and you don't want to miss it. Okay, but it's the last chance. It's going to end, and then we got to start letting everybody know who's coming and giving them the opportunity to travel. We have people coming from Canada to this thing, so it is crazy. I have breaking news. Today is the day that Elon Musk takes over Twitter. And first things first, I really want to do this. I really want to say how I told you this was going to take place. And I told you that if you read the hundreds of news articles about how it wasn't going to take place and how ridiculous it was, that I always promised you that this would take place. Now, think about this. Elon has a statement he'd like to give everybody, and he said, listen, for those of you that work at Twitter, you're going to be able to work from home. The only problem is it's going to be for a different company. So the all hands on meeting today, man, I'm telling you, if I could ever get an invite to something, I would use a pogo stick to get over there to watch that. Okay? And I haven't used a pogo stick in like 40 some years, maybe 50. Anyways, long time. But I would love to see that all the people and all the heads that are going to explode. Now think about this. There have already been 500 employees, 500 that have left to go to other companies, okay? Meta, for one, Facebook. So I am on the bay. I'm up by the Great Galley Cafe that's up here, and I'm just going to walk amongst the boats and look at the beautiful water with you guys. But Twitter, you know, it's funny. Twitter did $6 billion a year in sales last year. And here's the thing that I find fascinating. 89% of that money, 89%, came from advertising. Where'd the other 11% come from? Because I really want to know that. That was something I couldn't find out and couldn't figure out. So I don't know who pays Twitter other than advertisers. So I thought that was very interesting. But right now, just take a look at this area. It's just absolutely beautiful. So, of course, Elon Musk has been getting a lot of heat for this lately, but he issued a statement already that's pretty good. He's talking about how it's not going to be a free-for-all. We need to bring back the town squares. We need to bring back the digital town square. Now, one thing that I got to do when I was in Vegas this time was work on the social media company that we're starting for this year and talk to investors and tech people and things like that. And you know, as this thing gets rolled out, the one thing you want to do, which is the obvious, is you want people to have a platform that they can enjoy, but you just don't want a free-for-all of hate and bad things and bad people and dirty stuff. Okay, I think that's the simplest way to put it. And Mr. Musk assures the whole world that this is not going to be the case on the platform. And again, it needs to be free and open. He's not concerned about the advertisers right now, man, which I love when people say, you know, we're open for pride. We're not, you know, interested in making money. Okay, yeah, wait till the electric bill shows up and it's much higher than you thought. So I don't care how rich someone is. Every business, unless it's a nonprofit, still needs money to operate. So isn't this cool on the backside? Just a cool walkway. Great place to get away from everything. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. I think I think it's going to be, here's my prediction for you guys, since I was right about this thing in the first place. This thing is going to go private. They are going to see political turmoil with it, where people are going to start to be able to voice their opinions on both sides, and it's going to wreak havoc with people. Can't have that. So anyways, that's what's going to happen. The next thing is that investors will get paid off. The people will get cash for their stock. It'll be a beautiful thing. But they start transferring yesterday billions of dollars from all these different global banks to do this, which again, this is fascinating stuff, how this is done, and where the money comes from. And I really want to know how much physical money. Now you can sit there and say he put up $54 billion. No, it's going to be interesting to see exactly how much, or $44 billion, excuse me, exactly how much money came out of his pocket and wasn't borrowed. So I find that to be interesting. He's going to run it, I think, for 2 years. And then about 2025, 2026, maybe about this time, 2 years from now, maybe into 2025, he's going to take the thing public again and make himself just a ton of money. And but he wants to run the X app, which is going to be, an entire platform for social media that everybody's going to go to. Now, give you guys a little bit of update that was fascinating. When the internet was started, and I'm talking about late 90s when things were popular, and you had Napster and you had things like that out there that people were using. That Napster was the music sharing site, but it made people like get on there and download and make their own CDs as they were stealing music and stuff. But one company was called X.com that Elon was with. And X.com was basically an online bank. And he read into some regulatory issues, and it was pretty fascinating stuff. But you could go out and you could get X.com. And I'll never forget, my brother set up his account, and he said within like 3 days, they had checks in the mail to me. It was like unlike any bank I've ever dealt with. And he had checks that he could write from the account and do that. And that eventually became PayPal. And they did have changes to it. So absolutely fascinating that that's how that played out. But we're going to see how this works out with everybody, and it's going to be absolutely fascinating. And again, will it make the political arena better? Absolutely not. No. Will it make it funnier? Yeah, absolutely yes. Okay? And again, nobody likes to complain. Nobody likes a complainer unless they're on their side. Remember that. Sorry, I blew the joke there, but again. Next thing is the car industry, especially the used car industry, is absolutely, completely upside down right now. It is an absolute disaster right now. And for the first time in 2 years, you're seeing a change in the price and the value of automobiles to where they're lowered right now and going down. AutoNation's CEO, Mike Manley, he steps forward and says, listen, this is bad. This is going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. And the inventory is rising. I wouldn't call it a glut yet, but he does. See, this is the thing. They don't want to call it that, but it's a glut. And it's bad right now because they're not talking about that. So there's a lot of cars for sales. And again, I am very proud of this fact that over the course of the last year, we've had people, think about this, people could take their leases, cars that had payments left on it. The record was 9 that I know of. And the record dollar amount, turned the car into a dealership, they wrote them a check back and people got money back, left with money, and they took a leased car back. Beautiful. The best one, a guy got 15 grand. That guy wrote me and thanked me and apologized because he was telling us, well, this guy's an idiot, which is funny, which I've actually heard that before. People get upset. Don't you love these rich people also with the flight path like this? So anyways, absolutely fascinating stuff. So the used cars prices are going down, and you're going to see a glut in prices. Got a lot of information from people with the last video on the real estate glut. You are seeing such interesting times right now because people have interest rates that are securely above 7% right now. And again, if you've got a gold situation, if there is nothing questionable about your credit, if you have a job, you've got W-2 income, you've got a huge down payment, you're going to get a 7% mortgage. The woman that we talked about with Denise yesterday, with her 8.3%, that's the norm, guys. I have a lot of people now that email me investor rates and things like that. These people are seeing 8 and 9%, already for mortgages. This is the beginning of this, guys, and this is only going to get worse right now. So, again, think about this. A woman went out and bought a house for, in Las Vegas. Her payment was going to be $2,100 a month. It was great. And then they quoted the new rate because she didn't lock it in because she was self-employed. And now it's going to be $3,200 a month. So, share your thoughts on this stuff. We're seeing inflation absolutely run, completely out of control. The gross domestic product is ridiculous because they're including things like airlines and airplanes for sale. And, I always joke about the super rich people that have planes. And, again, who can afford a plane? You know anybody with a plane? I've got a family member who's married to somebody with a plane, and I always joke he's got plane money. So that guy is kind of wealthy, but I think that that's not everybody in this world. So share your thoughts on all this stuff so far. I love coming out here because it's very peaceful. We have to talk about a couple things that we thought were impervious to getting hurt in the economy. First one is Amazon stock. Amazon stock lost 20% in after hours yesterday because their guidance was completely off. They have nothing but problems with growth. They have nothing with problems that regular smaller companies have with the supply chain. Amazon's experiencing this right now. And Mike Olsavsky, the CEO of the company now, is talking about how it is only going to get worse, and they're probably going to let more people go. So again, it's not just completely rosy when it comes to Amazon. The thing you have to look at is all of these warehouses that are canceled, all of the loss of business, and the big thing that we talked about with all these people we had meetings with was Amazon AWS, Amazon Web Services, is the site that any growing company sits down and uses for their web hosting. Okay, now people are going to write me and tell me I love HostGator and I love ABC Host or whatever. The point is that they can scale it. There's no set fee, but based on the volume of the traffic that you have, it grows and it's relatively inexpensive. Okay, and again, people are going to flip out because I just said that. But the point is that is shrinking right now. People are not going there and using that service right now, which should make everybody go, what? Why? Well, the reason why it's a concern is people are not starting websites. People are not starting growing ventures and growing entities right now using, an expanding platform like that. They're just starting their business, having a web page, and not worried about massive growth right now. That's a concern. That is what people need to look at right now because it's going to dramatically affect growth around the world, not just this country, but around the world. You're going to see a lot of people that are going to be cutting back. And this is a perfect example of that right now is when they're not making money. Now, the next thing with Meta, think about this. Facebook is off completely. It had the single largest share drop, price in their shares, happen in one day. It's also, think about this record. Right now, they have had Mark Zukerberg has lost $100 billion. $100 billion is what he's lost right now. Is that crazy? That's absolutely unbelievable when you think about that. And it's completely off. And the meta stuff, I had a great video sent to me where people were saying, describe the metaverse. And it was like, a 1997 video game. And it's nowhere near where it should be. And the investors I talked to about this, they think that they're years away from having this be something that's going to be a viable thing to use on a daily basis. Again, the majority of the audience here is like, what is it? I'm not putting on a headset. I'm not going to go watch a football game that way. there is value in live entertainment. There's value in sports. I think that people that sit there and say, hey, put this headset on, it's going to be like being at the game. No, it's not. No, it's not. I mean, part of every sport is different. Part of going to the football game is just how crazy the fans are. That there's value in that. Going to a hockey game, you ever been to a hockey game live? That is the coolest thing ever. It's cold, everybody's yelling, the puck hits goes up against the boards. It's so loud, it's just crazy. It's a completely different experience. You go to the Houston Astros game and they're pounding trash cans and cheating. It's fabulous, okay? So I've never been a Phillies fan until today, so let's hope the Phillies win the World Series, okay? So share your thoughts on that. But again, here's the thing. People do bad things in this world. People cheat in baseball and don't go to prison for that. That's crazy. What do you guys think? Okay? So share your thoughts on that. But Mark Zukerberg lost $100 billion. It is the single largest evaporation of wealth ever. And a lot of people like him. Tremendous amount of people can't stand that guy. But it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because, companies that we thought were impervious to downturns are not impervious right now. And Microsoft and Amazon right now are experiencing hell right now because there's less business. But we're supposed to sit there and be told that the economy is great and that inflation is not a problem. It is destroying everything, guys. I'd like somebody to make a recommendation of what you think interest rates are going to go to. Where are mortgages headed right now? And great article out of The Hedge talking about how, listen, prices for real estate are going to continue to fall until there's some government intervention or they give some teaser rate or give money. Well, that's insane, guys. It's insane because I think right now you're going to see real estate prices drop in such a huge, huge way over the course of the next 6 months. And when you looked at, Denise showing us properties, think about this. From where I'm standing, Dan, one circular mile, not driving a mile, just around the map, there were 100 houses for sale when we were at that one house. It's just going to get worse, guys. You're going to see, in Vegas, it'll get to, you'll eventually hear of 12,000 houses for sale. Then I think you'll see 15,000 houses for sale. But talking to agents and talking to other people out there, they're not having results with open houses. They're having open houses that nobody shows up at. They're having houses that are listed, put in the MLS, and they do advertising. Hey, take a look at this house, and nothing. Not a phone call, nothing. So share your thoughts on that stuff, guys, because I think this is going to be really epic. And again, it's not gloom and doom. Look at the stories below because everything I talk about either comes from one of the subscribers who gives me real information, and I do my best to give them credit, or it's based on a news story from around the globe. So let me know what you're thinking. Now, I've told you guys many times what an absolute imbecile I think Jim Cramer is, and that he is the clown in chief. Well, good old Jim, talking about a guy who has just butchered history when it comes to the financial markets, did it again. And he encouraged people recently to buy Meta stock and that the company's great and that it was going to make so much money hand over fist. And again, when the stock was going down and it was at $138, over $138, he told people to buy it. And the problem with this is that now it's under 100. And he did a tearful apology on the internet. Okay, well, with his, I heard he made $6 million a year. Again, I think that's insane. I don't care what he makes, but he's an idiot. He's an absolute shill for the markets. And again, for you guys to follow this guy, I mean, talking about, I don't know, drinking, day drinking, we talked about that. I think that's what people would be doing if they were following Jim Cramer's advice. I get a kick out of the other thing is the electric vehicles and how this is going to change the world. There's a woman, Stephanie Terrell, 23 years old, who goes to the car dealership to look around, and they talked her into buying a Nissan Leaf. Okay? Only problem is Stephanie's having a real difficult time using the charge. Just think you'll never pay for gas again. Never pay for gas again. It's going to be the greatest day of your life. And she lives in an apartment and can't charge the car in a timely fashion. And I love this, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know Miss Terrell, and I'm sorry she's clearly not my daughter, because I would have, talked her out of that one. But again, guys, it's ridiculous. Driving back from Las Vegas, we hit the one and only Eddie World. Not Eddie's World. There's no S there. It's Eddie World. And look what we saw. We saw Teslas that were waiting 30 to 45 minutes. Now, the article below that I included also said, listen, we've got great news. There are going to be superchargers that are going to charge your vehicle within 20 to 45 minutes. So we stopped, got gas, bought a soda, used the restroom, got out of there in 11 minutes time. 11, okay? So, what kind of car do you have? Okay. Anyways, get it, guys? It's kind of ridiculous. So we're being fed all these lies about how the electric cars are just going to save the day. But Miss Terrell bought one and is having nothing but problems. Almost ran out of power on a freeway because she couldn't get to the charging station. And then she'll get to a charging station and they'll be backed up. Awesome. Okay. My favorite video that somebody sent me was a man who took a generator and cut it out the back of his Tesla and made it so that he could drive. And as he drives, he can continually charge the car, and he can get 1,600 miles with the generator and the power. Now that's the hybrid of all hybrids. That's great. I had a Prius that was pretty cool, and it would get some super mileage. But this guy's 1,600 mile Tesla is amazing. So, I celebrate him. And again, the story is below if you want to take a look at this. Do you know of anybody else that's bought an electric car that regrets it? Because there's so many right now. And the funny thing about this is that the people that bought the Ford F-150 Lightning, those people, they're distraught because they're trying to tow their boat. And whenever they put a tow on the car, the battery drops. Like, they can see it go down. So anyways, hurry up and get one of those cars. I love them. As I drove here, I saw a Rivian, and it's just a beautiful looking car that I don't know why you would want. Not a fan. Have you guys any sense? By the way, if Rivian wants me to do a sponsorship deal, I'm open. Okay, share your thoughts, guys. Canada just raised its prime lending rate by 3/4 of a point. And the best part about the story, which is attached below out of Reuters, is that they said, listen, we're going to continue quantitative tightening because they have a firm grasp on inflation. Now, if you live in Canada, you should be laughing hysterically at that, because you know that there's no firm grasp on inflation right now in Canada. It's absolutely a disaster, and it's only getting worse right now. But they're going to work on quantitative tightening, and they're not going to be buying bonds and spending money. They're just going to turn things around with the raising of the interest rates by 3/4 of a point. It's going to get, their prime lending rate is going to get well above 4%, and it's an absolute disaster. Another thing is people are looking at their bank statements now because they're not paying attention to them. When people have financial problems or they're stressed, they tend not to open their mail. Isn't that fascinating? But one thing that's really interesting is that people may have signed up for an app, and the apps are continuing to charge people even though they're not using the apps. One woman found hundreds of charges from Google on her bank statement to where it totaled hundreds of dollars a month. And this led a reporter down this rabbit hole to look at it and to see, is this a problem that other people are having? And other people are having charges like this with their bank. And again, guys, we're seeing this so much where banks are limiting our deposits, limiting our withdrawals, and then they are going out and charging us more for services. More people are writing me saying they cannot make a regular bank deposit right now and are having nothing but problems with that, and holds on small amounts, just a few $1,000s on up from there. I just love the plane. Look at, here's my boat, it's under the plane, okay? Okay, kind of crazy. The final thing is, this is out of the Wall Street Journal too, and I'm gonna end it with this one because it's ludicrous, okay? And that is, McDonald's is now cool again, okay? No, McDonald's is not cool again. People are broke. People are eating at McDonald's now because they can't afford to eat at regular restaurants. Now, the only thing that's fascinating is that McDonald's is so expensive right now. You know, combo meals that are some restaurants are above $10 for the combo meal. And the one thing I hate about ordering fast food is, do you want it large? No, I want the one that's $10.80. I want that one. And again, the smallest drink, the smallest everything. Their dollar drinks are now, at the lowest I've seen them is $1.69. But it's expensive. But remember, McDonald's is cool again. Are you guys cool? Are you guys shopping at McDonald's right now because you can't afford to eat? And it's getting crazy, guys. People cannot afford groceries. People cannot afford to put gas in their cars. And McDonald's is cool again. So don't ever forget that. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, this is your last chance. If you're going to show up at the 250,000 subscriber party and you want to be there, you've got to get chosen through our drawing. And it's the fairest, simplest way that we've done it. But we've had a ton of people sign up and we have not drawn anybody yet. So there are a lot of cool people that we've set aside tickets for other YouTubers and invited guests and things like that. And they're all coming. People are flying in from all over the place to get here. So please register at danssilver.com if you'd like to attend the event live. And November 12th, Port Theater. It's going to be absolutely amazing. When you're selected, you'll be given the hotel information if that interests you. And onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon. Bunch of cool stuff happening. Bunch of cool stuff with the channel, the business, TV, everything. So I cannot wait to share it with you guys.